Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP is now in the worst situation possible. Let's begin. Is it terrible of me to delight in the post-affair fallout? Posted by Reddit user I'm a Catholic Slut.
I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely know it's unhealthy to be checking on my ex and the affair partner on social media or obsessing over it. But when they're putting it all out there, I can't help but look. I block and unblock, don't worry. Is it terrible of me to be smug about the fact that the ex's affair partner is finally finding out that he won't stop window shopping for other women just because they live together? It appears like everything is going terribly over there. She is having a very public mental breakdown on all platforms, and he has deactivated social media. I try not to smile over it, but it's hard not to find it entertaining when I was screwed over so hard. For context, my ex cheated on me for over a year, and while I was pregnant with a sex worker who knew about me and did not care. It obviously destroyed my confidence, especially after having my baby, seeing him do circus tricks for her but abandoning both me and our infant daughter. They live in a luxury studio. He allegedly let his anime con friends pressure him into moving her into his place because she was facing eviction and she had sheltered him before. I couldn't even get this man to put up a curtain rod when I was 6 months pregnant, but there he was behind my back, saving her ass from being evicted. I know I'm being petty, but since she tried to get him to cut me off and has been harassing him during our visits with the baby, I don't feel bad for her. I don't judge her for being a sex worker. I judge her for being so selfish that she would rather my ex prioritize her over his own daughter. I judge her for demanding flowers and gifts every day knowing he hasn't even thrown me a penny for diapers. I judge her for holding on so tightly to a man that she supposedly hates for cheating on her, that she is a constant interruption in my airspace, and it makes me feel physically ill. I judge her for staying in a situation she has the power to leave but won't. I judge her for scaring me into thinking she might hurt my ex physically or myself and our child with her unhinged social media posts. I have been in no contact with him for almost 2 months and it has honestly been great. I am in therapy. He's not on the BC, but I am going after him for child support. I never used to want him to struggle because he is my child's father, but I couldn't care less anymore because he's shown himself to be a selfish asshole. He's obviously the bad guy here, and I'm starting to accept that even if I'm an empathetic person, I don't need to have empathy for his problems dealing with the consequences of his actions. That includes his relationship problems with the affair partner. I'm embarrassed to admit I'm enjoying the fallout of their affair, but I do feel a twinge of guilt for being this way. I know it won't last. It's like a little bit of dopamine. Am I wrong?
Why are you feeling guilty for, OP? You're just enjoying the shit show that's happening to two assholes. They are suffering the consequences of their dumb decisions, and honestly, it's well deserved. Don't forget to get every cent out of him during the court proceedings. Good luck, OP. And now for today's second story. I trusted the wrong people, and it ruined my life. Posted by Reddit user ScarAnxious8125.
Well folks, I'm here to vent. I just need a little of your attention to release this heavy burden. I just want someone to listen to me for a moment, and if possible, learn from my lessons and not repeat my mistakes. I apologize for my English, or if it seems unclear, I'm using a translator. Where do I start? I think I ruined my life by trusting the wrong people. Let's start from the beginning. 9 years ago, I was going through a terrible depression when I found out that a supposed friend and his wife had made a deal for the girl I was in love with to cheat on me with her friend. She was bisexual, and although I always accepted her, I couldn't bear the infidelity, so we broke up. After a while, I confronted her and she distanced herself from me, then invited me to events with her friends with the sole purpose of flaunting her boyfriends in front of me. I said no more and distanced myself from everyone. It was at that moment of weakness that I fell into an even deeper depression. I lost several jobs and sank into uncontrollable anxiety. I gained weight, but little by little, I improved until I began to receive intense calls from my family, whose only purpose was for me to move with them to the countryside. It was 6 months of harassment that I should be with them. To think of my dad, that they would help me get a better paying job, that it should be now. One day I fell ill and thought my parents' idea didn't sound so bad. So I said okay, I accept, and maybe I'll earn more money, and then I'll move out on my own again. Tragic mistake. My parents live in the countryside, have their own house and lands. They helped my sister get an excellent job and paid for my detestable and abusive brother's education. On the other hand, I had been awarded a scholarship to an important university, but my dad refused to help me and prevented me from taking the scholarship. Then I enrolled in a technical school and got a modest degree that helped me get good jobs, but not very well paid. After moving, I searched and searched for work, but nothing came up in this town. Most of them told me they only hired people from that region. And as I was new, please don't take the job from the other people who needed it. I asked my parents to help me, but their response was, "What did you think? That we would help you? Son, you came to the wrong place, keep passing out resumes." And I fell back into the spiral, gained weight due to anxiety and depression, and had dangerous intrusive thoughts. Soon I was working on my parents' land from Sunday to Sunday. They told me they didn't pay me because that money paid for my food and services. I forgot to tell them, at that time, I had a pit bull, the sweetest and most beautiful dog I had. Her honey-colored bare eyes were the sweetest, and they were one of the few things that encouraged me to continue until one day she let go, and I found out she had distemper, which was diagnosed too late, and that broke my heart. She couldn't do her business by herself, and she defecated black, which meant it was blood. To avoid more suffering, I had to put her to sleep, which broke my soul, as I had had her since she was a puppy. I didn't want to breed her, thinking about her health. After several months, I decided to adopt a cat, or rather cats, haha. There were 4 of them, but all were poisoned or stabbed. Their names were Carlota, Mariposa, Igui, and Sanji. The last one was Sanji. I'm already tired of having pets. I appreciate their cute moments, but in this town people are abusive and don't respect pets. Anyway, let's continue with this tragic comedy. I was a slave on that farm for 4 years as a laborer, without a decent pay or even an opportunity to grow. And on the few days I could rest, it was because I was sick with chikungunya, Zika, and a terrible skin disease due to the poor state of the water. I begged them to take me to a doctor, but they never did. Finally, my sister-in-law divorced my abusive brother because he did the same thing to her as my parents did to me and tricked her into coming to this town. She quickly realized this and, with the help of her parents, managed to leave, but not before leaving him with a business almost bankrupt. I took advantage of that opportunity to take care of it, but the damage had already been done. I spent more than 12 hours here without almost any pay, and I've been looking for an opportunity ever since. But the truth is, it's very complicated. At least I stayed away from working with my dad in the fields, which was better than enduring poison and carrying wood. I decided to take advantage of the time and read until the quarantine came, and my parents infected me with COVID when they went to a wedding during the quarantine. There was a big fight about it because they refused to take the blame and wash their hands of it. Shortly after, I looked for a bicycle and started exercising. I was losing weight, but then my mother started harassing me, helped by my brother, until they forced me to stop. My brother is the favorite son, and my father has him on a pedestal while he sees me as garbage. If he knew the truth about that garbage, he wouldn't even come near me, as he abused me when I was 6 years old and tortured me with a pillow when I was 10, trying to kill me. And when visitors came, my father would take us out of our beds and give them to him to sleep. And we had to sleep together. And that's when he would start hitting me in the face until I bled and knocked me out. I told my mother, but she thought it was just a game. I think all of that made me very withdrawn and naive in relationships. They broke me, and I can't take it anymore. Now I tried to get into a public university, and from what I see, I didn't pass. This is the 4th time I've lost, and the last time I barely passed to a private one. I asked an aunt to be a guarantor for student loans, and everything was going great, but my mother found out and talked to my aunt not to help me anymore. I'm so tired. I don't have a penny in my pocket, and I don't think I can continue with this anymore. My family has already warned me that they won't help me, and I'm tired of this life. I've thought about it a lot, and I don't see any more options. I'm so tired, frustrated, emotionally exhausted that I'm here out of inertia. Don't neglect your mental health, and learn to see the signs of toxic family and friends. Don't trust everything they say, and always have a backup plan, which I didn't have. I just hope you learn from my experience and be wiser than me. If anyone has read this and has a viable solution, I would appreciate it, because I'm not seeing any alternative.
OP, I think your post belongs more to r/raised by narcissist, but about your situation, please don't give up on life. I think your parents just needed free labor, and that's the exact reason they forced you to come back to the countryside. Do you have a friend or anyone who could support you during a time like this? If not, then you have to be a little creative. OP, it's the age of the internet. You have access to the damn thing. You're posting on Reddit, you donut. Why aren't you doing something about it? Go take jobs on Craigslist, clean someone's garage, mow someone's lawn. There's a shit ton of ways to make money. And if you don't want to do that, then you can scavenge for materials. scrap metal, tin cans, water bottle, anything that you could sell to a recycling facility. OP, you really need to start saving to get away from that shithole, and once you finally do, I hope you go no contact and forget those fuckers ever existed in the first place. I wish you all the best, man, and for fuck's sake, stop feeling sorry for yourself and do something about it. Good luck. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.